Okay, good morning or afternoon, depending on what class you're in. This is Mrs. Valentine, and today we are going to learn some more about transformations. We're going to learn about the second kind of transformation, which is a reflection. Make sure you are, let's pause this video frequently whenever you need to make sure you're getting down all your notes. Also, I've included a note sheet for you for all the graphing problems. So make sure you have your note sheet ready when we get to that part. Okay, here's your essential question. What do you notice about the size of a pre-image and its image after a reflection? So be ready to compare the two, the pre-image and the image after a reflection, and see what you notice about the size. Okay, first of all, let's talk about what a reflection is. So a reflection is a transformation that uses a line of reflection to create a mirror image of the original. So for example, in this picture here, we have two triangles, and we have this line down the center. So if you picture this line down the center as having a mirror on it, it's like the red side is a reflection of the blue side. Another way of thinking about it, it's like you have a piece of paper and you took some wet paint and painted one of the triangles, and then you folded the paper in half along that highlighted center line and folded the paper and pressed, and you got an image on the other side from the wet paint. So again, a reflection is a transformation that uses a line of reflection to create a mirror image of the original. We also think of a reflection as a flip because it's like we literally flip the piece over the line. Okay, so now is when you're going to need your notes page. So this is the first example on the notes page, and let's put a couple different letters on here just to make it a little easier to work with this. So I'm going to go ahead and label this point A, this point B, and this point C. So let's start with the coordinates of the pre-image. Why don't you take a minute with your partner and work out what the coordinates of the pre-image are. And so you probably want to pause this for a second. Okay, now that we're back, your coordinates should be, for A, we are at 1, 4. For B, you are at 3, 1. And for C, you are at 1, 1. Okay, so we are going to reflect this shape in the x-axis. So in order to do that, I want you to, if you have a highlighter, now would be a great time to take it out. Go ahead and take out a highlighter. And we are going to go ahead and make, looks like I have limited colors here. I'm going to go ahead and just highlight on, oops, sorry, no, just did the wrong thing. Totally did the wrong thing. Let me erase that. We are going to highlight on the x-axis. So there you go. Classic mistake. What you want to do here is highlight the axis that we are reflecting in. And so the x-axis is here. We're going to highlight along the x-axis. Okay, so do the same with your paper. And now let's go ahead and we're going to take one point at a time, and we're going to see how far away it is from the x-axis. So let's start with point A. Point A, if we count off, it is, starting from the x-axis, it is 1, 2, 3, 4 above the x-axis. So we're going to go in the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4 below the x-axis, right? Along that same vertical line. So here is A prime. Next with B, B is 1 above the x-axis, so we'll go 1 below the x-axis. Right here, that's going to be our B prime. And then C is 1 above the x-axis, so we're going to go 1 below the x-axis. That is our C prime. So now go ahead and connect those. And we have our reflected shape. So let's write down the coordinates of that image. Why don't you take a minute with your desk partner and pause this so you can get the coordinates of that image. Okay, now that you're back, the coordinates of your image should be A prime is 1, -4. B prime should be 3, -1. And C prime should be 1, -1. Okay, so another pre-image. Let's call this A, let's call this B. Let's go ahead and put down the coordinates of A and B. So take a minute with your desk partner and figure out the coordinates for A and B. Okay, now that we're back, A is -2, 3, and B is -3, 0. So if we're going to reflect once again in the x-axis, so we're going to reflect in the x-axis. In fact, I think I want to make that blue instead. Let's make that blue like we did the last one. We're going to reflect in the x-axis. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So the x-axis is the horizontal axis. Go ahead and highlight that, please. And then we will start out with the A point. So that is 1, 2, 3 above the x-axis. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 below the x-axis, and that's going to be our A prime point. With B, B is right on the x-axis, so B and B prime are going to be the exact same point. Label that B prime, and then you can go ahead and draw your line segment. So let's put down those coordinates for A prime and B prime. Take a minute with your desk partner and decide what those coordinates are. Pause the recording. Okay, now that you're back, we should have -2, -3 for A prime, and you should have -3, 0 for B prime. Okay, next, this is asking us to reflect in the y-axis. Let's just start with how we have been. Let's label A, B, and C. Let's call this one A, this one B, this one C. Okay. And go ahead with your desk partner and get those coordinates. You can pause the recording for a second. Okay, so we have, now that you're back, it's -4 for your x and +5 for the y on A. B, you are also at -4, but then you're at +2 for the y. And C, you're at -1 and then +2. So this time we are going to reflect the shape in the y-axis. So highlight y-axis, and let's go ahead and highlight the y-axis. So this time we're going to be focusing on what side we are on. So we are, this whole shape is to the left of the y-axis, so we're going to go to the right of the y-axis. So if we start with A is 1, 2, 3, 4 away from the y-axis to the left. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 away from the y-axis on the right, and label that A prime. Next, take the B. It is 1, 2, 3, 4 away from the y-axis on the left. So we're going to go to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where B prime should go. And then C is 1 to the left, so we're going to go 1 to the right for C prime. Go ahead and connect those. And take a minute and put down those coordinates. Again, you can pause and go do this with your desk partner. Save a minute to think. Okay, so now we have our coordinates. So A prime should be positive, oops, there you go, positive 4, oops, turn it blue, whatever, positive 4 and positive 5. Sorry about the blue there. For B, we should have positive 4, positive 2, and for C, we should have positive 1, positive 2. Okay. And then we've got one more here. Let's again label this A and B and get the coordinates real quickly. Go ahead and do that with your desk partner. Pause it for a second. Okay, we're back. We are at -4, -1 for A, and we are at -1, -2 for B. So again, we're going to reflect in the y-axis. So go ahead and highlight the y-axis. This is super important to do because I mess it up myself if I don't do this. It's really important to do that. So now we are looking at left and right along this y-axis. So if you look at point A, it is 1, 2, 3, 4 away from the y-axis on the left. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right. That's where A prime is going to be. And then B is 1 to the left, so we're going to go 1 to the right of the y-axis for B prime. So there is our line segment that's been reflected. Let's get our coordinates down real quickly. So for A prime, we end up with 4, -1, and for B prime, we end up with 1, -2. Okay, so that's it for reflecting. So again, it's all about which axis you're on. Make sure you highlight your axis, and later when you complete your notes, review and write headings and questions to quiz yourself on the left side of your notebook, and summarize what you've learned by writing your summary below your notes. Thank you very much. See you later. Bye.